sorts of shit out on night 5 of Hanukkah, the best night. Hump night. Hump night of Hanukkah. What are you all filming this on your phones for? I promise you, nothing is about to happen worth preserving. I give you my word on that. That is the new worst thing about doing gigs anywhere on earth, is people just standing there going, I want to enjoy this, but now is not good for me. Later would be better. Later and smaller would be more convenient for how I like to enjoy entertainment. Entertain me while shitting later. This is the worst possible time for you to try to do what you're about to try to do. Well, thank you so much. For those of you that don't know me, let me just give you a little background on myself. I'm not like you. Right, I'm British. That doesn't make me better than you anymore. But let's all accept that 250 years ago, this would have been a very different evening. Especially this far down Manhattan, you'd be getting less jokes from me and more instructions as to what I expect you to do tomorrow for me. Just so you know, that I've lived here for 12 years now. I love it here. I absolutely love it here, and I need you to remember that during some of the things I'm going to be saying for the rest of my time up here. I love it here. That's critical context for you to bear in mind. And I love it here now. You have any idea the depth of affection for a country than when it's doing something like this? I would argue any immigrant currently applying for citizenship loves America a lot more than natural-born American citizens. When you marry someone, it's in sickness and in health, for better or worse. And you do that at the easy point when they're generally healthy and at their best. That is not where you're at right now. Falling in love with America right now is like falling in love with a girl who's just vomiting all over herself, holding her hair back and looking over at your friends and family and saying, this is the one for me. As they understandably say, are you fucking sure about that? She seems like a mess. No, she's just going through a rough patch. In 4 years, she'll be better. And if she isn't in 4 years, I promise I will reassess. 2 years, we're 2 years in. That's right. Hard to know how to feel about that, isn't it? Kind of depends when it's fucking over. 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 16 years, 32 years. It's possible. There's a non-zero chance. Words don't mean anything anymore. Why should numbers? The point is, it's difficult. It's taking a lot out of us, what we're going through right now. We're going to need to pace ourselves. This is a marathon, this presidency, in the truest sense of a word, because like a marathon, this presidency is going on for far too long. It's incredibly bad for your health, and most people didn't even agree to enter it. We were signed up by our dumbest friend. And one of the most remarkable things about this particular president is just how little he likes the job of being president, which is odd, considering it's something that he wanted people to give to him. He clearly, this stuff is not it's a particularly insightful insight to say that he doesn't like the job. What he likes is the trappings of the job, but the fact it's not particularly incisive doesn't make it any less amazing that is true. It's so childish to like everything around a job, but not the mechanics of the job itself. It's like becoming a policeman because you like the hat. You understand this is a difficult job, don't you? I'm pretty sure it's hat-based, and as long as that's true, everything's going to be fine. I guess the big question everyone is pondering right now is, when are we going to know that everything's okay? And that's hard to say, because it won't be after he's gone. It'll probably be longer than that. I guess I've been thinking about it a lot, like when will we know? And my best guess is that we'll know everything's okay when America is finally furious with Anne Hathaway again. I'll be honest, Bowery Ballroom, I spent a lot of the Obama presidency fucking angry at Anne Hathaway. For reasons that I could not articulate to you, because she, and this is important for everyone to acknowledge, did nothing wrong. In 2014, around that time, I'm pretty sure I thought she was the most irritating human being on earth. You know, because remember in 2011 she hosted the Oscars and, you know, she tried harder than the human car crash standing next to her. Fuck her for that. 2013 she won an Oscar because, you know, she tried again and was sincerely grateful. The worst. In late 2013, I was in Los Angeles at one point. This is true. I jaywalked across a road. And it was entirely my fault. I was running across the middle of a road and I right in front of a car which had to screech to a stop to avoid hitting me. And I looked into the windshield thinking this driver must be furious. And I promise this is true. It was Anne Hathaway. And she smiled and waved at me. And I distinctly remember thinking, fuck Anne Hathaway. Here's the thing. Since Trump became president, I found it really difficult to be irritated by Anne Hathaway. And the reason for that is that, you know what's more important? Literally everything else, it turns out. Absolutely everything on earth. And that's when it hit me. I don't think there was really any better bellwether, potentially, for the state of America than how people in this country are feeling about Hathaway at any moment. You hate her? America's fundamentally doing well. You're indifferent to her? We're in serious trouble. You actively like her? We're fucked. Everything's over. It should be like the Homeland Security's threats chart. There should be photos of Anne Hathaway in airports across the country with a sense of how people are feeling, so you know whether it's okay to safely fly or not. And the pessimist in me thinks that we may never hate Anne Hathaway again. But I think just privately and collectively we have to find a way to get that venom, misplaced fury in our stomachs and hate her once more. We can do it, America. You can do it. You're still filming this on your phone. Well, this was, I mean, that seemed ill thought through and rambling. Sure, let's see if this gets better at a second viewing. It's very strange, as it moved, because I don't go back to England. I went back to England for the first time in like 5 years. This time last year, I have an American now. Well, I have a son. That's a very imperialistic way to describe a child. I have an American. I have brought him to London. I shall return and fetch another. I wanted him to see where I come from. He was 2 then. He's 3 now. That's how, you know, time works. And he was 2, and so I was pushing him around London the first day there in a stroller. And I was just trying to show him, oh, this is where your dad comes from. And this is why he's 60% sad. And at that particular age, all he wanted to do was say hi to everyone and everything he saw. So I pushed him into this one shop, and there was a door, there was a very tough guy opening the door, Cockney guy, and I pushed him past him, kind of slightly nervous, and he looked up and he said, "Hi!" And this guy looked at him and went, "Hello." Like an almost offensive Dickensian pastiche of how an English person should speak. And we walked past him quickly, and my son said, "Bye!" And he looked at me and loudly said, "He's a cheerful cunt, isn't he?" I remember thinking, sir, we are in something of a pickle right now, because my son and I live in America, where that word is simply not as charming as it is here. He's also 2, so he's repeating everything he hears. So what you've done in effect is planted a kind of high-risk hand grenade in my child that I'm guessing is going to go off on his first week of preschool. The big thing people say at the moment is that just how divided we are as a country in America. And you hear a lot that, you know, America's never been as divided as this. This is the most divided time in American history. We should just rather skip over the Civil War. 600,000 American soldiers murdering each other, I think, is a little more divided than no one can agree on Nanette. But there's no question we're divided, which is why we need to look for things that unite us. And I think that's why I don't connect to this particular president, is because his kind of MO, his brand is success. And as a British person, I couldn't identify less with success. And I think if we're all really honest, the thing that binds us together more than anything else is failure. We're all deep down in our hearts profound failures when you think about, you know, what we wanted when we were children. What did you want to be when you were a little kid? A policeman? And what are you now? A mathematician? You fucked up. Why did you want to be a policeman? Was it the hat? What about you? An astronaut. That's a great dream. That was a helpfully unachievable dream. You could have done your thing. That's really on you. You wanted to be an astronaut. What did you do? A translator. Okay. What languages do you translate? French and English, and that's it. I don't know why I was disappointed by that. I think it's because I was unimpressed when I speak French. You think, well, that's nothing. But I am the same. This is not what I wanted. This is not what the child version of me wanted to be. When I was a child, the first thing I can remember ever wanting to be was a giraffe. That didn't work out. Then, for my entire childhood, what I wanted to be was an athlete. And fuck you for the stunned silence. That hit you as more of a pipe dream than him saying astronaut. Yeah, I didn't become an athlete for obvious physical reasons that you're looking at right now. What I wanted to be more than anything was a football player, what we call football in England, and what you use a different word for, a word I will not soil my mouth with. Just know every time you use that word, somewhere in the world, a British person dies. But I wasted my whole childhood dreaming of something that didn't work out. And I can actually pin down the exact moments when I should have known that it wasn't going to work out. And the first was that it was the Goldington Middle School Sports Day of 1988, and I was in the 400 metres. I was 11 years old at the time, and I thought I could win the race. The whole school was there watching, everyone's families, everyone's parents, everybody was like lined up on the home straight of the track, and I was there in my on the start line in my little white shorts and my little white vest, and I thought I could win this race. I thought there was a chance I could win this, and that my family would remember this moment forever. And I was right about that. Not for reasons that I knew at that particular moment. So what happened was the race began, and it began as a sports teacher shouted, "Bang, we don't have guns." It's awkward in moments like that. Overall, I'd argue it's a net positive, but I ran as fast as I could. 100 metres I was in the lead. At 200 metres, halfway there, I was even further in the lead. And I even stole a look back across the track to where everyone was watching. Remember, the whole school and everyone's families, thinking this is going to be like a pivotal moment for me, and what a proud moment this will be for the Olivers. And then at 250 metres, I felt this sudden rush of air. The kind of rush of air you normally associate with exiting a shower at pace. Because what had happened was Bowery Ballroom. Reasons that were never coherently explained to me. The standard issue sports shorts given to British children in the mid to late 1980s came with a slit down the front of it. And what happened was Bowery Ballroom. my penis had fallen out of my shorts. I didn't understand that. And I think I know enough about human nature not to ask for it to be restated. I'll just say that sounded like all vowels to me. I couldn't discern a consonant. That was less a heckle and more sonar. I think part of you is just trying to judge how far you are from the stage right now. Let's say 23 feet. Here's the thing, even at 11 years old, I knew in that moment I was facing a decision which would affect me for the rest of my life. Now, did I A, stop running and, forfeit the race that I was leading? Or did I B, continue and follow my dream? Think back to yourself at 11 years old. Think about you as a person and your moral compass and how you have responded. You're right, I ran as fast as I possibly could. As I entered the final straight, rounded the final bend, an audible gasp was emitted from the spectators. Let me just remind you, that's the entire school and everybody's relatives. And as I entered that final straight, my 11-year-old penis started beating out a kind of metronomic rhythm on the inside of each of my thighs, at least proving that technically I was running a sound race. I fear that detail got lost to circumstances. And as I put my sprint finish together, that beating motion turned into what I can only describe as a kind of swoop. Now, interestingly, once you've started that, it's almost impossible to stop. And I crossed the finish line like a demented helicopter in 4th place. So that should have been the moment, Bowery Ballroom, I knew that athleticism was not in my future, but a career in comedy might be if I was willing to subject myself to sufficient humiliation. And that pretty much brings us to now. Well, thank you very much. Reach for the stars. Right. The moon, the lumiere. What? La lune? Fuck! Fuck! What's the lumiere? Light? Light! Fuck! That's the most devastating heckle. Delivered with the kind of kind confidence which makes it even worse. Because you could have said, I'll let that pass. But no, you went, good. La lune. Let's just be thankful you're not a translator and the concept of the moon is important in any negotiation. I was never good at mathematics, so I'm not going to try and go toe to toe. What's that? What? What's that? I look like David Baddiel. That is, here's the important thing you need to understand about that. It actually happens a lot in England. There's a British person called David Baddiel, and I look like him. The end. But if you Google him, if you Google image search David Baddiel, you'll see that's actually a devastating heckle. Sadly, it is 3,000 miles from being effective. Thank you so much.